How's everybody doing out there today? Welcome to the show. I'm Papa G, and this is Nothing But Facts. So let's get it.
Get a job and work, and shit didn't work. Say all I'm qualified to do is rhyme and spit a verse. Get my feelings hurt every time I sit in church. Real talking dead at me, nigga got me feeling worse. So I ain't congregating about 7 or 8 months. Broke the promise made to myself and started back blazing blunts. I know that's crazy, huh? Feeling like a bad man. I look at me in the mirror, all I see is my dad, man. I got some things that I need to address. Couple issues need to get off my chest. Like the fact that I got a son, I ain't been kicking it with him. Got him a phone, I ain't been kissing it with him. Yeah, I miss my little nigga. I try to get him, but me and his mama don't get along. I mean, I call, but the bitch when I pick up the phone, my therapist asked me what I do, the things that I does. Got up, looked her in the eye, and my reply was,
All right. How's everybody doing out there today? Thank you for tuning into the show. I'm your host, Papa G, and today's show is called Sheep and Lamb with No Shepherd. All right? So without any further ado, let's go ahead on and get our press started because I'm very excited about today's show, so we can get right into it. So if you're interested, we're over here in Lamentations chapter 3, verses 64 through 66. And it reads, "Render unto them recompense, O Lord, according to the work of their hands. Give them sorrow of heart. Thy curse unto them. Persecute and destroy them in anger from under the heavens of the Lord." May the Lord add a blessing to the hearing, receiving, and doing of his word, because we are at that time where it's time to do his word. It's not time to play no games. So we got a few things that we got to unhash before we get started with today's show. As usual, you know what we got to do. We got to expose the bully. And who's the bully? The bully is child support. The bully is the attorney general. The bully is the state, federal, and local government. The bully is the minister at your church, the Department of Education, the Department of Labor. America is the goddamn bully. You understand? Because America is going against the Creator's wishes in several different things that I have to stand up for. I feel like as a man of faith, I have no choice but to say that he only created them male and female, okay? And I have to point out that Adam and Eve was married when they left the Garden of Eden, okay? They were married before they even, while they were naked and didn't even know that they were naked. They were married, you understand? Because that's the way he intended for man and woman to exist here on earth. Okay. Second, family is what happened when Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel. Okay. One man, one woman, and the offspring that they bring. One male, one female, and the offspring that they bring. There is no other way to make children except the original way, the way the Creator designed it to happen. Now, man has come along and with technology, wickedness, whichever word you want to use, he has developed the ability to create a baby through false womb and fertilization. But the normal way to do it is with a male and a female. A family is not a man and a man and some children. A woman and a woman and some children. That is nothing. That is an abomination. Okay? Family is not one woman and some children, one man and some children. Those are examples of single parent households, failed relationships. I don't make these rules, and me stating what the facts are isn't me hating or having any malice or anything like that. Understand, if you have a problem with the truth, you don't have a problem with me, you have a problem with the Creator. Okay? If you have a problem with the truth, you don't have a problem with me, you have a problem with Webster and all these other people who give me these definitions to these words that I read back and define to you. So before we go too far, I want to make a correction for last show. The last show I said wrongly that it was the melanated people who were trying to introduce the non-melanated people to homosexuality. That was a misstatement. I meant to say that the non-melanated people are trying to introduce homosexuality to the melanated people all over the world and have been since our first introduction. Okay, so now that I got that correction out the way, we can continue to move on to what we were talking about. Now, we understand that the United States of America made sodomy legal in 2003. Okay, so all of these things that I'm taking my time to level off before I really just get off into today's show, these are all called strikes across your bow to signify that the war has started. These are all bullets that have landed, missiles that have landed in our camp, okay, if you will, okay? So then you turn around after 2003 when they legalized sodomy, they come back with another assault. In 2015, they declared open war on the covenant of marriage by saying that the canon is not closed. We're going to say a man and a woman can get married, and a man and a horse and a woman and a horse, and two men and one woman and two women and one man. You know, it's just, it's wide open now. It's Pandora's box. So now our responsibility as people of faith is to understand that y'all have gone on a way we can't follow. So at that point, we now have to do what's necessary to set ourselves aside. Now, they're not going to just allow us to get out of the way and go over here and do our thing and allow them to just be corrupt or whatever and sit there and while we doing it right, showing them out in what they're doing. That's how come we have come to Matthew 11 and 12. And this is why you don't let these fake, false people of faith who really have cowardice pumping through their heart to try to make you just be humble when you know he wants you to be bold. So we're over here in Matthew 11, chapter 12. I'm sorry, Matthew chapter 11, verse 12 for those who are interested, because this is what's going on, you understand? And it reads, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. I need you to understand, I'm not going to stop reading that because the Bible don't contradict the Bible. You understand? So if he's telling you to be humble and you're supposed to be following him because he's the shepherd of the flock, right? And what we're talking about here today, we're talking about sheep and lamb with no shepherd. The shepherd is the leader, right? So if the preacher got a pistol in the pulpit, I said this before, shouldn't the congregation have a pistol in the pew? That way, when the man come in, because we all following his example, right? You know, listen, this is the hypocrisy of it all. Okay? I got a question before I go too far. I got a question for my people who are not of faith. It's obvious you are not of faith because you are willing to do things the opposite way of the doctrine. Okay? So what I want to know is, since you don't have faith and you know that marriage and all this stuff is dealing with this book, is dealing with the word, is dealing with what we believe, you know, that hold our life in the manner that it is, why don't you go and invent your own stuff? Why you got to be trying to be involved with the stuff that's dealing with faith? Marriage comes from faith. If you don't believe like we believe, go and invent your own stuff. You don't have to associate with our stuff. You don't have to look at it and say, oh yeah, that's something awesome right there, marriage. You dig? So I'm going to go add something to it and do this here so I can make it fit me. No, make up your own thing. Y'all go over there and make up what's called a co-op. You understand me? And y'all co-opting together. But this is our thing over here, marriage. And that's why we need it removed from the criminal justice system, where the creator has nothing to do with the criminal justice system. You understand me? Because there is no forgiveness, no love, no nothing there. Okay? And we need it put back in the holy house where it belongs, where it was ordained, where it was originated. You understand? All right? And men and women of faith, we have to be willing to stand up and die for this. And that if you're gonna be willing to stand up and die for something, that means you can't be somewhere hid inside of a building where don't nobody know you at. How that go? How that look though? You know what I'm saying? Look, I want to go ahead on and I'm gonna talk to my people who I want to talk to, because that's what this show is about. This show is about fathers. This is about us coming together, us developing unity, us getting a platform together so that we can get our issues taken care of. You know, I done told y'all once before, I'm not here to like be friends. I'm not here to like play nice. I'm not here to get along. You know what I'm saying? I'm just straight up here to fight. All right? And I'm here to fight, and I'm here to make it go. Now, if they happen to surrender while we fighting, all that's good. But if they don't surrender, I understand that they're going to be much more after me that come, because this done took a long time for them to get people, men and women, to accept that the children are for the women and not for the men. And it's going to take us that much time, if not more, to get the understanding reversed that the male children must go with the men and leave the female children with the women. And this is the compromise, because it'll be too big of a gap to say all of the children have to go with the men. And that would be too big of a power pull, because then you would make a morbid world, because men would be in spaces that we're trying to prevent them from going into now. So, fathers, you know, your legacy is the security that you secure for your children's children. Okay? So, fathers, like we talked about in the last one, we have to start business with your children and teach them, you know, how to feed themselves. So they don't have to go and beg at corporate America feet. So they don't have to go and beg at these other people's feet and be like, I need a job so that I can work for you by the hour, all right, just to be able to hand this money that you giving me to somebody else and be in this spoke in the wheel. That's all I can do. No achievement. What are you here for, fathers, if you are not trying to make sure that your next generation is doing better than what you're doing? The Attorney General, the federal government, the state, local government, the minister at your church, the Department of Education, y'all know who they are, okay? They all understand that if they allow boys to go with their fathers, then men will start to realize and do this. That's why they put us in a position where we will never realize this by diverting the children away from us. They know what our nature would be if they were to give us our children. They know what type of society we would have if they were to give us our sons. Please, men, let's join together. Let's get a petition going. Ladies, we need your help too, okay? Like I've said in earlier shows, if you're a grandmother out there and you did wrong and now you trying to do right by trying to raise your grandchildren, and you stuck in this situation and you watching your young children do what they saw you do, you know, and you hoping to fix it, join forces. Speak up. You know, everybody, let's get this conversation going. And the conversation is, the boys belong with the men. Men are not just scot-free and all they got to do is give money when the relationship is over between the man and the woman. We're not going to play that game. We're not doing it anymore. what will happen is, once we get this going, where it's automatically understood men get first right of parenthood with their male children. So what will happen is 2 or 3 generations beyond that, we will be living in communities where the majority of men will be walking around sporting masculinity and pride, and we'll see that the police are not so necessary. All right. And that's a major thing. All right. And the criminal justice system would just be stuck with inmates that are getting old and no new blood coming in. And they need new blood. Okay, and believe me, they want new blood. That's why they're doing what they're doing. Fathers, I need you to know, look, man, we not friends. We're not friends. We are more than friends. Okay? We are allies. We are allies, and we have to get our brotherhood established so that our sons and men can start to be born in this country with integrity, with pride, and having a sense of, what it is to be in the man community and being responsible for your shit. Because men will hold men accountable and be responsible. What a lot of these big mouth people, evil people, are afraid of is the communities that they want to promote and let run free. If you give a boy to his father, very few of them are going to identify with this queer beer stuff that's going on. You dig? So look, we are entering World War III. That means killing, loss of life, and you know what I'm saying? You're going to tell me don't cuss after we just read Matthew 11 and 12? After we see in the world news, check this out, South Africa then laid up there, and they say it on the world stage. They say, look here, we ain't worrying about no Ukraine being invaded by Russia. They said wasn't nobody worried about Palestine when Israel invaded them. Nobody gives a care about Palestine borders. They saying this in world stage meetings. They saying this to the non-melanated nations. So Russia done laid up there. South Africa done laid up there and became allies with Russia. Everybody is loking up, getting ready for this fight that's about to happen. Okay? And if all of the major populated continents are allying against us, all it is a battle of attrition. We're going to run out of bodies in a minute. You understand? that we won't be able to sustain. If we go to war with only France and Great Britain, we're in trouble. Brazil, the other day, maybe it was last month or so, is partnering with China. So South America is feeling like China is a better option for them than us. Y'all, we is in trouble. Okay? Look, there is nothing off limits. We got to understand that they are trying to project the world to the rest of the world that's going to get us destroyed. We got to separate ourselves from them so that when this time come and define the brimstone, because he said, next time, I ain't going to drown y'all. Next time, I'm going to burn y'all up. So when the fire and the brimstone come, you want to be in the area where he not throwing that at, don't you? Because it ain't no getting away from that, buddy. It ain't no getting away from that, Joker. Now look, I'm going to get back on the fathers. Listen, fathers. This is an issue right here we talking about. First right of fatherhood. This is an issue that we have to be willing to die for. You understand me? All you dudes out here running around hollering soldier, saying I ain't scared of nothing, claiming you so tough, you looking to go to war, you running around with a pistol, you're doing all this kind of stuff. This is the battle of our time. If you bold and you got all this courage, help me stand up for fatherhood, first right of parenthood for fathers to be able to have their sons, okay, in the event that the mother and the father separate. If we so tough and all this with the rap music that we making and all this other stuff that we doing, if we just so fearless and we don't mind dying, then let's come together and be willing to go up here to these people court, tell these people we want our sons, and if these people say no, have us escorted to the jailhouse, you understand me, and sit in there and go on a hunger strike. Let's organize. Let's get this together. Let's start to protest outside of the Attorney General's office. If y'all can shoot and kill each other, y'all can join with me and we can go and fight them people. If y'all, I mean, we ain't got to kill nobody. If you bold enough to kill, you sure ain't scared to do this. You know what I'm saying? So we can come together. We can learn the rules. All right? We can get out there. We can picket. We can go to court. We can get petitions going. Start canvassing the areas. Having people signing. You know what I'm saying? Getting thousands upon thousands of signatures. Then after we done got so many signatures, then we go, because then they can't negotiate. They got to just do it. Like, let's say we got 1 million, 2, 3 million signatures. They got to just do it. They can't just negotiate and waste our time and fuck around. And when we present them with 1 million signatures, we ain't stopping there. We steady trying to get another 1 million signatures. You understand me? So while they sitting there deliberating, look around, we done got it hot. The first 1 million been delivered. You look around, because we done got the network set up. 3 months later, we coming up with another 1 million. Saying this is what we want, so that our cities can be safe, so that our children can be safe to them very selves, so that we can be able to protect our children from the government who trying to make these new things so that big business can make new money. Now they trying to let the medical industry mutilate our children. Hallelujah. We ain't going to let them do it, though. We ain't going to let them do it. And we have to be willing to fight and die for this. And this don't require you to have no gun either. This don't require you to have no gun. This requires you just to have big nuts to be able to look the judge in the eye and say, I ain't doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna take me. And know that the 500-600 men that's in that room with you, we all doing the same thing. And we gonna fill up their jailhouses. You understand me? And we gonna fill up their courtrooms, okay? And we gonna fill up their system until they give us our sons. All right? Let's get this going, man. I want this fight to happen so bad, bro. I really do. I just need fathers to start trying to join together and say, you know what, Papa G, right, man? You know what I'm saying? We don't need to fight each other. Let's join together and go fight them bitches. They the one who fucking over us. Let's go fight them hoes. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, ladies, let me holler at you for just a little second. Just a little second. Because, you know, my main thing is hollering at my bros. And so I'm going to be right back, my fellas. But ladies, to you. When I was growing up, I was taught you cannot turn a hoe into a housewife. You are supposed to only let me see your personal stuff. Only me. You ain't supposed to be like wanting everybody else to see how nice your titties is. You ain't supposed to be wanting everybody else to see how nice your ass is and stuff like that, or showing enough meat to where they seeing butt cheek and all that kind of thing. That ain't supposed to happen. So that's how you know when you got a hoe or when you got a housewife. All right? So look here, you know, I don't like to just be running off at the mouth and acting like I don't know what I'm talking about me. So we're going to go on over here to 1 Timothy, chapter 2, verses 9 through 14. Okay? And it reads, in like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broided hair or gold or pearls or costly array. Now listen here. This ain't Old Testament. Okay? We're in 1 Timothy, and the book is almost over after 1 Timothy. What you got? You got James, and then you got Peter, and then you got Revelations, huh? John, and then Revelations, huh? So the game is over at this point. You understand? So then we moving on, and we say in verse 10, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Look here. Listen. If what I just read right there bother you, get that spirit off you. Because this ain't me talking. This ain't no arrogant man. I'm just reading what the Creator has issued. Okay? And then I'm supposed to tell you, and you're supposed to listen at me. All right? So it says, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I offer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman, being deceived, was in the transgression. So, you understand, you got me kicked out. You don't take my children too. You understand, I'm still in this with you. I need you to turn your back on the Attorney General, on family court, on child support, on the food stamps, the welfare, the breeding farm, all that bull jive. I need you to say, I don't care if I got to work 3 jobs. That's what I'm going to do, but I won't get the food stamps and the welfare, and I'm going to take care of myself. That's real. That is so real. You understand me? Look here. Before I get back to my fathers, I want to do a quick little history lesson. Little history lesson. All right. So now, you know, those people, Cain's children. All right. What happened is, y'all remember Lot? Okay, so Lot settled over in the Caucasus Mountain area. The Caucasus Mountain region area. Okay, so where Lot was a homosexual. You understand me? He demonstrated his homosexuality on the ark. All right. So it seemed like Lot probably should have been one of them ones that was left out there too. But I digress. Let's get into the meat. So Lot goes over to the Caucasus Mountains where he settles. And so those people, that's a very icy, cold, snowed up area. The rivers are frozen. Everything is frozen. So those people have to hunker down in caves to live. In this Russian area over here. What we now call Russia and all that kind of stuff. The Caucasus Mountains, right? So they had to harness the ability to kill, to eat. Because think about this. There is no apples and oranges growing and fruit and all this kind of stuff and wild, fresh vegetation growing on the ground and all that. That's not going on in this area where they from. Where they from, they had to kill to survive. They also, in these caves, had to be very close to one another all the time. When we were of a nature where food grew on trees and on the floor, and we were living in a tropical area. We were the melanated people. So it was not necessary for us to master the art of killing because we could eat the vegetation that was growing as well as we could fish, You see what I'm saying? So hunting was not, we didn't have to be like, I'm going to kill or I can't eat. And we also, we were nomadic people. We roamed around and ranged in our areas because it was tropical weather. But where they were hunkered down in caves, covered in animal skins only. You understand? So you had one man in his nakedness up to another man in his nakedness, and they breeded one another like that. You understand me? It was common for them, and it wasn't looked down upon, for one of them to look over and see, a man pumping another man in the corner in the cave over here in the dark. All right? Now, we know that when you look at us, we come from education and knowledge because we have paintings and writings on the wall with colors and all kind of things showing. We built great pyramids. We did all type of wonderful feats in history that still cannot be explained, the ingenuity that we showed, the craftsmanship that we did. But when you go to the Caucasus Mountains and you go to the Russian area and all that kind of stuff where they originate from, you understand, you don't see all that kind of understanding and knowledge because they were a primitive people. And everywhere you see, like the Caucasian, he not from there. He just came and conquered that area. All right. That's how come you have white Africans now, because they came into that area where those people were, conquered land, murdered off a lot of the people, stole and adopted the customs for themselves, erased the history. And so, boom, now you have black Africans. You have white Africans. That's how you had the whites that were like white Egyptians and all of this kind of thing. That's what they do. They have white Americans. Okay? Everywhere, every land that you see white people in, Australia, everywhere, they have come and they have killed off the indigenous people. They are not originally from there. Okay? So just understand that this is a ravenous people. All right? And that's what they do. They go, they kill off, and it's just their MO. And ain't nothing you can do about it. We just stuck here with Cain's children, and we got to try our best to set ourselves aside. Okay? And ain't nothing else you can do about that. So listen, I want to take this time right here to talk about women's sport. And I'm going to do a little blast from the past. If y'all remember Christy Martin, she was a female boxer back in the day. She used to open up for the Mike Tyson fights. Her real name was Christy Salters. She was a bad girl back in the day. But if she would have had men saying that they were female and going into that sport, Christy Martin would have never been a 4-time champion or 4-weight class champion. You understand me? And I know y'all remember Layla Ali. And Layla Ali was like the baddest female to come through boxing. You understand? She would not have been able to do what she did and accomplish the feats that she did and have the name that she do if there were biological males who were claiming to be female to compete in the female sports. Do y'all remember the fight that happened with Christy Martin and Layla Ali? Because I do. Layla Ali literally beat Christy Martin until Christy Martin was on one knee and couldn't get up no more. She literally beat her down several times before Christy Martin finally, just out of sheer ass whipping, couldn't get up no more. One of the greatest fights I ever seen in my life. Also like to shout out to Miss Ann Wolf. Okay, I don't know if y'all remember Ann Wolf. She was also a serious female boxer, and now she's a serious female promoter. You might see her sometimes on the side. I'm a big fan of women boxing, though. Yeah, I always have been, a big fan of women boxing. Oh, now, in other news in the world today, well, not today, but in other news in the world, the president of the Congo handled the French president, Macron, shut him down in a press news conference and told him basically told France to basically learn how to respect the Congo, and try to treat them like equal partners. But he let them know that the Congo are not homosexuals and that they plan to join with Russia. Everybody going to Russia. What we gonna do? So we cannot enter World War III in shape like this. That's all I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna move on from that subject because I don't believe in beating a dead horse. So I got a question for y'all that I wanna, leave y'all with. And this question is, if a woman can have an abortion because she want to, whatever her reason is, she don't want to have the baby, and we respect that, can men sign papers saying, I don't want to be no daddy? And the same way you can't make her be a mama, can we sign papers with her not being able to make us be a daddy? Now, I know that's a little messy, you understand? But it's meant to be messy, all right? Because, the same way you cannot force a woman to be a mama, you shouldn't be able to force a man to be a daddy. You know what I'm saying? And so, I'm just leaving you with that because I want you to understand that this thing goes both ways, okay? If you're going to be able to kill the baby and I want it, then I should be able to sign away the baby because I don't want it and you want it. The same way you got that option, I should have it too. So I just wanted to leave you with that, all right? So until next time, I really appreciate everybody if you tuned in and listened this long, all right? This is Papa G saying my Cash App is $Gil Muse, and I love you. I love everybody. Shout out to Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit. Everybody out there in the manosphere, keep doing what you're doing, all right? I love you, and I love everybody, baby. Peace.
Get a job and work, and she didn't work. Say all I'm qualified to do is ride and spit a verse. Get my feelings hurt every time I sit in church. Real talking dead at me, nigga got me feeling worse. So I ain't congregating about 7 or 8 months. Broke the promise made to myself and started back blazing blunts. I know that's crazy, huh? Feeling like a bad man. I look at me in the mirror, all I see is my dad, man. I got some things that I need to address. Couple issues need to get off my chest, like the fact that I got a son, I ain't been kicking it with him. Got him a ball, I ain't been pitching it with him. Yeah, I miss my little nigga. I try to get him, but me and his mama don't get along. I call, but the bitch when I pick up the phone, my therapist asked me what I do, the things that I does. Got up, looked her in the eye, my reply was, exist inside.